And here we go. Welcome everybody to another conversations video where today we're going to be having a conversation with somebody about their experience with upper cervical care and Meniere's disease. And this is going to be another one of those videos as part of our Australian series. Why is that? It's because very important that people here in Australia know what different options are available to them, and in terms of how it is that a correction for the upper part of their neck may be able to help them out. So, hope you enjoys today's video. Let's get to it. Boom. Hitting the record button and all that sort of stuff. I've made like a little pre-intro and all of that sort of stuff already, so I'll just add that one on top. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we are today. This is Ms. Sharon Francisco, who's willing to share a little bit of her story. How are you doing this afternoon here, Sharon?
I'm fantastic, Jeff. Always a pleasure to be talking to you, of course.
Awesome. All good. All right, so first and foremost, why don't we start with just some basics introducing, yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What are your life passions is the short of it.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is interesting. So Sharon Francisco, I started a business 2 years ago coaching bookkeepers on how to scale their businesses and absolutely loving this space, enjoying it immensely. So having a great time doing that. It's completely online, the business. Passions are running. I just love running like you, Jeff. I love to get out and run outside. I hate running on treadmills. Anything with movement, energy. I've got a beautiful miniature schnauzer that I'm absolutely in love with, and love to travel, of course. I love to travel. My partner is French, so love traveling to Europe and having a great time. So that's probably my passions, I suppose. I wasn't waiting for that. I wasn't ready for that question.
All good. All good. So, Sharon, tell us a little bit then, what is it that, prompted you and I to meet in the particular office? What was going on? Share your story, please.
Yeah, so it was back in 2013, I believe, and I'd been through a really tricky time. I just separated after a 26-year marriage and started a joint venture partnership in business with my sister-in-law, and I was in a particularly sort of vulnerable stage where I felt I was a bit not really knowing what direction my life was going to take, and I feel like literally I was spinning out of control. I was getting very dizzy to the point where between 2013 and 2014, I had 15 drop attacks, which I didn't know what was happening to me. I was very, very dizzy, and they would come out of the blue, Jeff. I would be just walking along, and then all of a sudden I would just fall to the ground. I'd be vomiting. I couldn't stand up by myself. I had to have somebody either side of me to walk with me. And then after that, I would spend up to 1 to 2 days in bed. I was beside myself and didn't know what was going on. I went and had a whole bunch of tests. I went to ear, nose and throat specialists. I went and had an MRI. I had all these tests, and they said I either had a brain tumour, MS, or Meniere's disease. And I'd never heard of Meniere's disease before. And I thought, you know what? I reckon out of all of those, I wanted the brain tumour, because apparently MS and obviously Meniere's is for life. And got the test back, and they said that I had Meniere's disease. Because I thought brain tumour, at least I could get it cut out or I could manage that somehow, whereas this is ongoing. So they said I had Meniere's disease, and I thought, okay, well, what do we do about that? And they said, well, you pretty much just got to learn to live with it. And they gave me these little tablets called Stematol, I think, to stop the dizziness, that did absolutely nothing. And I thought, I just can't do this for the rest of my life. I'd actually got to the point before I'd met you where I wasn't even driving a car. So I hadn't driven, I don't think, for 3 months. And for 12 months, I actually Googled every night alternate cures for Meniere's disease. And there was a whole bunch of different sort of things that came up, but nothing that seemed substantial enough to make a difference. And then it took me about 12 months, and I found deep into a forum, a lady suggested she was talking to somebody else. I was just reading the forums, which were very depressing. Get yourself along to an upper cervical chiropractor. And I'm like, copy, paste, and put Brisbane behind it. And you came up. And I'm like, you know, I've been searching for 12 months. I've had these 15 drop attacks. One day I actually had 2 in a row, which was so scary and made me feel so vulnerable. And I felt like, okay, I've never heard of an upper cervical chiropractor before. Rang you the next morning and you said, yeah, well, you know, I'd come up, we'll do some x-rays, we'll have a chat, and we'll see what we can do. I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can do. And I was like, okay. And I came up and you did the x-rays, and I'll never forget the first time you cracked me, the feeling of like, I had this big rush feeling in my head, which was not uncomfortable, but long story short, I had not had a drop attack since. And it was an absolute miracle. I'm forever grateful for you, Jeff. You have literally changed my life. I would not be doing what I'm doing now without you.
Well, certainly that's a pleasure to hear that, but it's like I still, obviously, I haven't beaten that out of you. It's like, Sharon, have I literally cracked you? You see, for everybody out there, I mean, by and large, I mean, I have to say, a lot of, some people, yeah, they love the idea of, you know, I like feeling my bones move and things like that. But majority of people, it's like, in all honesty, they don't. And so it's something that can kind of scare and intimidate you. Now, I know your good sense of humor, and you grew up in the country, did you not?
Yes.
Okay, so are you being literal when you say that? And that's sometimes it is the case for people, is if the area is particularly sensitive, then what it can do is, even as light as we are trying to be, it can still feel like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff going on there. But no joke, I've always adjusted you as light as I possibly can. So interesting that you've always noticed it, but I have never literally cracked.
No.
Okay.
Exactly.
Just checking. Okay. So what did you find then, you know, once you had started care, what was your experience? You said you weren't having drop attacks anymore. Yay. And but how long ago was that, would you guess?
Oh gosh. It was 7 years ago, I think.
Okay. So not bad for something where they say just, oh, okay, you know, go home and live with it. It's kind of the short of it.
That was the feeling of when that specialist said that. I was absolutely devastated because like single with 2 boys, and yeah, that's a scary, scary diagnosis. You know, you're having these drop attacks, you're not able to drive, and you're told that's it. There's nothing else. And I just can't believe that the world doesn't know about this. Like seriously, when I afterwards, and you know that I tried to reach out to places, and I made a YouTube video about it, and I tried to get it out, and it feels like the best kept secret, and I don't know why it's the best kept secret. Like literally, it changed my life. So it fascinates me that there's not more knowledge about this everywhere.
Well, hopefully, I mean, this is one of the reasons why, now that I'm in a position to be able to, that, you know, I appreciate you sharing your story, because as you said it yourself, is you found out about this from a forum online, and then you're looking, okay, who does this close to me? So, okay, yes, I have my personality and my skill sets and all that sort of stuff. But in this particular case, you know, it's the ability to have access to that service. And the good chunk of it is for people to realize that this is actually an option, because, again, whether it's a dizziness or a vertigo, I've seen that somewhere between the better part of 20 to 30% of the population is going to experience that at some point in their life. So this isn't even like it is the rarest of rarest conditions.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what do we do about it? Yes, you have the brain scan, and good. You don't have MS. You don't have, you know, a tumor or anything like that. But then they say, oh, you know, we can't see what's going on, so therefore you must have, you know, this thing that we're going to call a Meniere's. And so, you know, yours definitely is an inspiring story, in the sense of where you could see all of this stuff going on and just how your life was really getting a lot smaller. Yeah. But then also the other side of it, getting to know you over this period of time, just to see how big you have been able to expand since then. Now, would it be fair, and this is just so that everybody who's out there, watching, paying attention here, would this be fair to say that you have never had a moment of dizziness since we first adjusted you?
Yes, I have had moments of dizziness.
Exactly, yes. So as much as I would like to say to somebody, and of course, we always like to showcase the best of the best when you're on videos. One adjustment, you're cured, hallelujah. It's taken a bit of work, is the short of it, to get you to the point of stable. And in the same breath, I think this is the good thing, is that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you can share this one, is that you still have stress in your life. As much as you love it, you still have stress in your life. And if anything for you is going to blow a fuse, well, guess what? Enough stress is going to do that. But the amount of stress that it takes today is a lot higher than it was, say, even going back 5 years ago, something like that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I read, like, when I was diagnosed with Meniere, some of the things that they said that would happen is that people can tend to go into depression and be more, not go out as much, not be as, willing to go out, because of the Meniere's disease, I'm completely deaf in my right ear. And I read that and I thought, there's no way that's going to happen to me when I first read that. No way. And then, over the space of that 12 months, so it did take me 12 months to find you, Jeff. Like, it took a long time to find. Over the space of that 12 months, I got, my confidence got worse and worse. And I felt really quite vulnerable by the time I'd met you. So I think there's layers to getting on the other side of this, where, when you're having drop attacks and you're not driving, I feel like you just don't, it's hard to explain the vulnerability around that. And the literally you changing my life. I don't, not exaggerating when I say that. So yes, there has been dizziness since then, but it's nothing compared to having these drop attacks that just come out of nowhere. I mean, one time I was in a meeting with an accountant in Brisbane City. I was with my sister-in-law and I had a drop attack and I was vomiting on the street. And it looked like, because of course, when you're vomiting on the street and you've got somebody holding you up, it looks like you're drunk. And that's a scary thing, because you think, like, if you're that vulnerable, and I always had to have, I mean, you've met my whole family because everyone was driving me up because I couldn't drive. So yes, I can put up with a little bit of dizziness if I'm not having drop attacks. And the fact is, I think I'm back to who I used to be before you met me. Like, I was always a big sort of personality and able to feel quite comfortable talking to people, whereas my whole world just closed in. And over the space of the last 7 years, I've become, as you know my journey quite personally, that, I've met a new man. I've got a fiance now, and I've started my business 2 years ago that's going really well. There's so many good things that have come out of this that I actually was thinking I'm going to have to move back in with my mum before I met you, because I couldn't see me working. I couldn't see me driving. I needed help. Mum and I laughed when we were getting the test done with the ear, nose and throat specialist. And I had a lot of trouble, as people would know, with Meniere. There was a whole bunch of people coming towards me. We're in the city. And Mum put her arm in mine to hold me because she knew that I was getting dizzy. And we laughed because everyone would have thought I was supporting my 80-year-old mother and she was actually supporting me. So that vulnerability was just horrible. So yeah, it's definitely, I can put up with a bit of dizziness now. That's fine.
But you got a lot more things to look forward to, certainly, without a doubt, which is good.
Absolutely.
So if I can ask you then, because again, you just sort it right there. For a person who's not felt or experienced that, they look at you and they think, oh, okay, she's normal, she's putting it on, or she's drunk, something like that. But then for the people who do experience this, and where again they feel like, the world is getting smaller and smaller, what words of encouragement might you be able to share with them for you having been and walked where they are?
Just to never give up, like to continue on, like never give up searching. And I mean, like from my perspective, it's like you, or if somebody's watching this that can't access you, to access an upper cervical chiropractor to help you out. And I mean, since we've been sort of working together, I think it's been like I've referred so many people, because to me it's like no one has heard of this before. So actually just having the appointment to go along, and people coming back to me afterwards saying, oh, thank you so much for referring me through to you, because it's not just, I mean, I'm not sure how many people you've seen like me with drop attacks that had such a severe reaction to Meniere's disease, but the people that lots, yeah. So there's the people that I speak to might have migraines or like just headaches. I mean, that book of yours, which is up here, the stories in that, I read that and it gave me hope that there was going to be a cure. And I think know that, like, just never give up, honestly, and just commit to the ongoing help. Like, I think we see each other about every 6 weeks, and I pretty devastated when I heard you're going to move to America, I can say.
It's not
I think the computer, like, all the blood drained out of my face, I can tell you.
It's not about me. See, a lot of the people who are probably watching this video, they will never meet me personally. And guess what? That's okay. But to know, again, it's like, okay, you were searching for somebody. You weren't searching for Dr. Jeffrey Hanna. You were searching for somebody who does what I do. So simply put, finding that person. And unfortunately, some people do. They have to travel quite a long way. Like, you had to come all the way across town, which is, far enough. And it would be nice if you didn't have to do that. But, I think over time, by, things becoming more available to people, people seeking and knowing that they want this kind of care, I'm hoping that that's going to make a difference that, again, goes well beyond, certainly well beyond me, and arguably even, beyond you, just your ability to help people through and by sharing your story here. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, well, it was a 3-hour round trip for me. And to begin with, I think I was going up there 3 times a week, and I'd do it all again if I had to.
Yeah, and that was a little bit more hardcore. Fortunately, we've gotten a little bit more, we got a little better over the course of the years. And so I don't usually make a person go through the ringer like that anymore.
Yeah, I'd do whatever it takes. Honestly, I would do whatever it takes.
Okay. Well, one last little question then, Sharon. I'll let you get back to enjoying your day. Although, I always have to caution you because busy is a 4-letter word.
Exactly.
Just as you are, out there sharing a message for, everybody else. This is something that maybe goes beyond chiropractic, beyond healthcare, all that sort of stuff. A message of inspiration, a message of hope to humanity. What would be, your thing that you would like to be remembered by for where you've left the world at a better place?
Oh, what a cool question. Well, that's a big question. I would like to be remembered for just always seeing the glass half full, that there's always hope, no matter what, in everything, with raising children, with relationships, with health, there's always hope. And that if you're willing to do the research and the time and to speak to enough people and to be around the people that are similar. They say we're the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with. I think hanging out with those kind of people and encouraging each other to be the best version of ourselves is, I think that's the best thing that we can do for each other, right?
Pretty much. I think that's as good a place as any to leave it there. So Sharon, thank you very much for sharing your story, your experience, being an inspiration to others. It's always a delight to see you, to chat with you. The world is definitely a better place because you're in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise, Jeff. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everything.
You're welcome. And thanks for watching. If, as always, you've enjoyed this video, found it valuable, number one, we would have you like and subscribe to this channel so you keep up to date with any and all updates and videos we send out. Number two is if you have a friend or family member who you know would benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. And last but not least, number three, if we've struck a nerve with you in this particular video here and you realize, wow, I need to explore this a little bit, what I'm going to recommend that you do is either A, go to our own personal website, which is uppercervicalspokane.com, where we have all kinds of different blogs, videos, just like this one here, where you can get all kinds of information. And then what we would have you do is go to blairchiropractic.com, where you'll be able to find a directory, and that no matter where in the world you are, you'll be able to find somebody who'd be able to offer this precise sort of care so that it can help you achieve the health goals that you desire. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Hanna. Thank you guys very much. Be well, stay well. Take care.